So last year, Anbernic released a very chonky big boy called the Anbernic RG405V. I called it the best vertical handheld that you could purchase, and to this day, it still hasn't been beaten by anything. It was comfortable, had a massive battery that could go up to as much as 25 hours on a charge while playing games, had good performance with the T618 processor, and it let it do Nintendo 64 and Dreamcast perfectly, and then some GameCube, PS2, and so on. And the entire device just felt like a modern Game Boy in so many different ways. They did very good on it. So here we are a year later, and Anbernic has just released the RG406V, which you can basically consider the Samsung or Apple equivalent of a yearly updated release, with a few new things, but it's the same general idea. We have better performance, better sticks, better D-pad, and an all-around better device that improves upon a lot of what made the RG405V great. Let's talk about it. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Joey's Retro Handhelds. I'm Joey, and today we're going to be doing a review on the Anbernic RG406V. I usually like to do small little too long didn't watch blurbs here at the beginning so you can get a feel for what the video is going to be like and save you some time if it's not for you. The RG406V is a fantastic device. I actually like this quite a bit, but it's going to be the same scenario for me as it was for the RG405V, where it is a fantastic device, but just not one that I'm going to personally use in my daily routine. But I could see a lot of people being happy with this if this is what you're looking for. Now, the RG406V is $165 before shipping through Anbernic's website, and that would be a $35 upgrade over last year's RG405V. So let's do a quick side-by-side here of what all the changes are between the two for anybody that has last year's model or is considering it. First, the biggest change is the colors. The RG405V had wood grain, transparent purple, and gray. And this year's has beige white, gray, and black. I would say that the 405V easily wins for color options. The purple was really nice, and weird people like the wood grain. But then it starts to get really different from here. For one, the screen on the 406V is a new 960 by 720 screen, and it is still 4 inches. But this is a nice big upgrade over the previous 640 by 480 screen that Anbernic keeps using. Now, I don't have my 405V any longer, but the 405M uses the same screen that it did. And we can take a look at it here for some examples of the differences between the two screens. Is it a massive, mind-blowing difference? No. Is it a good upgrade nonetheless? Absolutely. Can we please just let 480p die and move on to 720p at least? Either way, the screen upgrade is a really good upgrade, and it is something that should make a lot of people happy that are looking for this device. More of this panel, or better panels, please, Anbernic. Then we have the processor, and the 406V is using the new Unisoc T820, while the 405V was using the T618. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that they are close in performance, because they aren't, and this is now the third Anbernic device that is using the T820 that they've done. So there's a lot of performance videos that you can check on both the RG556, the RG Cube, and now the 406V to see how it performs. But the general idea is it makes a lot more of the catalogs of PSP, 3DS, GameCube, and PS2 playable. They were kind of fringe on the 405V, and now they're a lot more accessible. But they're still nowhere near the performance of a newer Retroid Pocket Mini or Retroid Pocket 5, for example. It's in between. Anbernic is kind of falling away in the performance conversation nowadays. There is double the RAM here at 8GB compared to the 4GB in the 405V. This has Android 13 compared to the 12 in the 405V. Has the same 5500 mAh battery, which honestly, the battery in the 405V needed no changes. It is a fantastic device for battery life, so that's good here too. And then we can get to some of the major differences. The first is that the 406V now supports video out. However, like the other T820 devices, you still can't do video out and charging at the same time. It's one or the other. Either way, even allowing video out is a big benefit over the 405V. And then the biggest differences are the controls. The first obvious one is the sticks. The 406V is using actual full-size sticks with RGB LEDs. And I never thought I would see the day that we moved on from switch sticks for Anbernic. So these sticks are fantastic, by the way. They're loose feeling, they stick out nicely, and overall they're a fantastic improvement that I'm hoping we continue to see on every new Anbernic device going forward. Although, given the fact that they just announced the RG Cube XX and it is still using the old switch sticks, I'm guessing that might not be the case. For anybody familiar enough with the Retroid sticks, these are the same at the base. It's the caps that have changed. So Anbernic is using the Switch style caps instead of what Retroid was using for their sticks. But the actual base and all of that is the same as the Retroids. Now the D-pad here is the same loose, mushy feeling D-pad that we've seen lately from them on releases like the RG406V and so on. It's not like they're old, stiff D-pads. This is softer, it's mushier, and for me, I like this type of D-pad way more. Buttons-wise, they feel the same as most Anbernics. Mushy, not loud, lots of travel, and overall, they probably make some of the best buttons in this hobby. Now, one great change for anybody that had the RG405V is the shoulders and the triggers. One major annoyance with the 405V was accidentally hitting the shoulder buttons because they were so easy to push down. I haven't had that issue once with the 406V. They've solved it, thankfully. Now, I do have one big gripe with the triggers, and it's that they're not analog triggers. Look, you've given us the performance bump to play GameCube, and then you became one of the only devices in this price range to not include analog triggers. Even the Retroid Pocket 2S has them at half the price. There is no real excuse not to have analog triggers here. Even if it is a vertical form factor, it doesn't matter, it could have been done. Another gripe that I have is despite all of the room that you have on this chunky Game Boy, they still decided to put down-firing speakers. If they can do front-firing speakers on the RG35XX SP, you can do it here. Put more effort into speakers, for the love of God, please just do it. Okay, but overall though, there is enough improvement here in a bunch of different good ways that it makes this a really good upgrade over the RG405V, and I think if you're easily considering between the two of them, it's going to be the 406V 10 out of 10 times. That $35 difference gets eaten up real quickly by the benefits that you get with this. Better screen, better performance, better controls, same great battery life, same great form factor. It's really the best vertical handheld that we have access to that will do all of this sort of emulation. Now, if you have the 405V and you're considering upgrading to this, that is a bit of a difficult conversation. I would say that you could easily get back most of your money for selling the 405V, and then it'll just be an upgrade to this. And I don't know, it would be a personal preference thing on if there is enough upgrade here over the 405V, but if you've been using that 405V religiously for a year and you like it a lot, then yeah, I mean, treat yourself. This is better in every single way. So I would consider it an upgrade to go through this. So yeah, do it. So again, I actually enjoyed my time with this device quite a bit, but for me, it just doesn't solve any niche or any need that I personally have. So it's not going to be something I'm going to use daily. It's not going to be something I'm going to revisit, that sort of thing. But this is probably one of the better Anbernic made devices in the last year or so. And that is interesting. That is the best part about this, is that you can see a clear upgrade over the 405V to this model now. Now, the most interesting thing to me is that in comparison to their 8 H700 devices, the 3 T820 devices of the RG556, the RG Cube, and the RG406V feel vastly different to me. Despite using the same processor, each is using different parts, different screens, different sticks now, different D-pads, and so on. This, in my opinion, is the right way to do a differential lineup, and the T820 lineup is very good in my eyes. It's what I was hoping the H700 lineup would be, but it wasn't. This is so much better. So anyways, that's going to be it for this one. Don't forget to like and sub to help the channel grow. Come join me on the Discord to talk all about retro handhelds like this one. Support me on Patreon if you like my stuff. and hope you all have a good one.